Well, hey, everybody. Your old pal Gerbert the Grelf here. And what a wonderful day we have. What a wonderful day we have here. It's a very special day. It's a very Rapunzel day, as you can see. First. Very important. This is a day that we have been waiting for quite some time. Not only a chance for me, Gerbert the Grelf, to speak with Charles Adkins, President of Hedera, but a day for, well, us to get some definitely needed answers on the giraffe question. I know it, you know it, we all know. We need a giraffe. The Hedera community needs someone to look up to. And, what better person than a giraffe, preferably named Bertha, that is, really tall. I think you can understand where I'm going there. Now, as we wait for our special guest Charles to appear, I'm just going to brief you on what we're going to do today. I'm going to start with a bunch of very serious questions. Very serious questions. And I'm totally not trying to make sure that I repost this from another account at this time. Yes, CPCLER 6128, this is about that little emoji down there. And then we're gonna get right into it, folks. We've got the guest of honor, Charles Adkins. Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going swimmingly. It's going slimily. Now, you know, people see me as kind of this goofy, fun guy. But I think you and I both know that this is a serious discussion.
It's a problem.
Right, we've got a problem. But we're not going to get into that just yet. First, you know, I can't waste this opportunity. You know, I've got you locked in a virtual room with me. I've got to ask you some of my most pressing questions. The first question I have is a question I've been asking since I found myself in this weird, wacky world of Web3. Could you please answer, what is a cryptocurrency sneeze anyway?
I think you know better than anyone. You've taken the step to actually create a cryptocurrency sneeze yourself, and you've blown it all over the world. So you should be the one to explain that.
Well, I can't explain how the crypto that shares my name was created. I was enjoying my life, a very comfortable life in the enchanted forest. You know, I was following a small migrating pair of newts, and
As one does on a leisurely day. And I was approached by a man in a hood, a cloak, some might say. His face was obscured, and he asked me, "Would you like to be the face of a crypto coin?" And I said, "What's a crypto coin?" And right after that, he took the signature from my soul, and thus Grelf was born. I did not have much agency in this. I don't know how to use any of this technology. But believe it or not, you are the president of Hedera. True. That is true.
Okay, good. Thank goodness. Okay, thank goodness. I was really worried for a little minute.
Yeah.
Now, anyway, what? My next question: what specifically does the president of Hedera do exactly?
I mean, pretty much you've got to keep track of the entire ecosystem. You have to see what's going on with the community, the council members, the technology, the granting organizations. We get to talk to great people like you. You receive random faxes at your house from people who may or may not have
found your phone number somehow. We'll have to get to that later. So you may know something about that. But
if there was any legal issues with sending an unsolicited facsimile to someone's personal home address, I would say I don't know anything about it. If there wasn't, well, maybe we could have a conversation.
we should have a conversation about that.
But back to these very important questions. If you had to be reincarnated as either a really deep stain or as drool on a tile floor, which would you choose and why?
Oh, stain, 100%.
You know, I had a feeling you were going to say that. I want to be remembered.
Just stubborn, stuck there. People can't get rid of you. It's a wonderful existence.
You know, I had a feeling we were going to mesh on this one, and I'm glad I was right. My next question is, what's your relationship with Mance like?
Oh, it's incredible. Mance,
we like him.
Yeah.
Great
guy.
He's a great guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not a rivalry. There's not a previous president.
A rivalry
Oh.
with Mance? Oh my gosh. I don't think I mean, him and Lehman obviously care most about the network more than anybody. I mean, no, there's definitely no rivalries there. Mance is an incredible guy.
So this is an additional question that was not in my notes, but what kind of name is Lehman anyway?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's something I should actually we should find that out.
I ain't never heard that name before.
I actually never have either. That's a really good question. We're gonna have to find out where that came from.
Well, now you have a little homework to do.
I will definitely do that.
My next question, why are those without hair so much more powerful than those with hair?
I think you just, you don't have to waste the time worrying about what your hair looks like, doing it in the morning. You spend all your time and energy just doing the swamp things that you do, right?
Right. I think it not only frees up time, but you've kind of passed through, that superficiality that a lot of people struggle with. As soon as I accepted, hey, I have access to a mirror. I know what I look like. My life was a lot easier, once I accepted that, if people saw me out, they might squeal.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean,
are you saying you struggle with that as well?
Oh yeah. I mean, I try not to look at mirrors as much as possible. I mean, it's not that, having no hair is always, it's not always an option you choose. Sometimes you're just granted that lovely gift early in life and you work with it.
Yeah, you work with it best you can. I definitely agree with there. In one word, what's the biggest priority Hedera should have going forward?
It's got to be adoption.
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 That's a very interesting word. That's a very key word. Adoption. Probably return to that later.
Usage, whatever you want to call it. Adoption. I know you will likely get that confused and wonder where all of the additional children that Hedera is adopting will come from. And so let's just say usage to not give you any confusion to work with.
Well, I mean, you can also adopt aminals.
Yeah, I thought we weren't going to talk about that today.
Anyway, going forward, these are very serious questions, folks. If you could have a birthmark in any shape, what shape would it be?
I mean, pizza always works. Be a good one. Anything food related.
Are we talking a pizza slice or a whole pie?
Probably a slice. I don't think we need a whole pie. Probably a slice.
Plus, people might think it was like maybe a rash or something.
Yeah, the circular thing could be anything. They'll think it's a weird planet or something. Slice is the way to go.
Slice is the way to go. Plus, my favorite shape's a triangle.
There you go.
What's your favorite shape?
I mean, I think it's got to be triangle. Yeah, it's a good shape.
It's a great shape. It's a building block shape, but it's not a block. It's half of a block.
Very good.
There's not squares don't exist. It's really just two triangles
2 triangles.
in a trench coat.
That's all you get.
My next question. There's no way child Charles could conceive of crypto. So, back when you were a little baby, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Yeah, I mean, that industry definitely didn't exist. I would say early on, probably race car driving. I loved cars. I mean, I still
Oh
love
my
cars.
gosh. Now, I know a guy who's pushed his son into race car driving. Would you do that?
I probably wouldn't fit in any race cars that exist on a professional circuit at this point. So no, probably not.
Dang it. Dang it.
I'm out on race cars. I'm out on submarines. Anything with head clearance, it's not going to work for me.
So what you're telling me is you're a tall man.
I am tall and large.
He's a big boy. That's what we're learning here, folks. Now, on to my next question. Frogs. Bogs. Frogs often live in bogs. Coincidence?
No.
I think that speaks for itself, folks. I don't think we need to get into that. Too many people are listening. Now, I stub my toe every single morning of my life. That's kind of my routine. Do you have any kind of small, consistent routine or ritual?
I mean, that's a great way to start the day. I mean, a good toe stub. I mean, it really kind of gets the adrenaline going. I haven't tried that one yet, but I
wouldn't recommend it. No, my nerve clusters.
I feel like that probably works better than the ice bath you see a lot of people talking about out there in the world. I don't really think that's going to work too well for you. So for me, it's coffee, and then I'm just straight on the phones into meetings. I don't have a lot of morning routines other than get the coffee, feed the dog, get to work.
You're just chained. You're just chained to your desk.
I don't do much traveling anymore or anything like that. So yeah,
Me neither, but that's for different reasons.
well, I know you're on a couple lists out there. So
Well, when you look like this, people make assumptions.
yeah.
Now, this is a user submitted question. Do you play any video games?
I actually haven't since I've only played a lot of the old classic. I think the system I really stopped with was PS2. That was probably the last system I was really into.
So you heard it here first, folks. If you're an adult and you play video games, I mean that's you're wasting your life. You're a little baby. You're a tiny little baby.
I would not say that.
Well, sorry.
I've looked at some modern games now. Like, I don't necessarily know that I have the skill level or patience anymore, or really the time to just dive in. Like the games now have really deep stories. You got to stick around and you got to be in it for a while to really.
Can I recommend a game to you? I'm going to recommend a game to you.
Yeah, you can recommend one. I will check out games for sure.
Okay, this is a really easy game. It's fun. It's called Balloons. Bloons. You're a monkey, and you throw little darts at balloons.
Okay.
It's really easy. It's real fun. I'd say check it out. I think it's like $5. Yeah.
That's about my speed. Yeah, that'll work.
You should. I love it.
Doesn't seem like too much of a story to keep up with.
Yeah, no, I love it. I don't really like games with stories, to be honest. I just like popping balloons as a monkey with a little tail going. Now back to this very serious interview. This is a technical question. I know you're not in charge of the AI, but I was wondering if you could tell me, when is AI gonna figure out how to make me lunch?
I mean, it's pretty good right now. You just have to have the AI tell robotics to make you a lunch, and I think you'll be better off. It'll give you the recipe right now, but it's not going to make it for you.
See, this is my problem with AI.
You need a robot.
I need a robot. We need robots, people.
If you can get some robot Grelfs worked up, I mean, I think you'd be in good shape.
I don't know if we want robot Grelfs. They would become unruly. Sir, what are your thoughts on crumblies?
Crumblies?
Crumblies.
I don't know what crumblies are. What is this?
That answers my question.
There you go.
My next question, is it true that the hashgraph is really just a bunch of hamster tubes?
Not quite. There are wheels.
Okay. There are wheels involved,
Yeah,
is what you're
yeah.
saying.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next question.
Energy efficiency.
Oh, energy efficiency wheels, of course.
Forgot about
well,
that
you know,
part.
I'm somewhat of an expert on things. Another question: do you still, you know, you got a great title, you know, people look to you often for advice. Do you still get nervous?
Yeah, of course. Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
So,
especially when you're talking to different companies, you know you want them to build on the network. I mean, there's things you just really want people to enjoy to like what you're doing. You want to, you know, there's a lot of times that, especially at Hedera, you're competing against other large chains to earn business. You got to do the right things.
Man, I thought eventually it would go away.
No, it's good. It's healthy.
Okay. All right.
I will be honest. I mean, your questions have made me more nervous than anything I've done this year. So.
Okay. Well, you know, that's
I
good,
never
I
know what
guess.
kind of questions you're going to ask. So it's always it's.
Well, they're going to be very, very serious. We can at
They
least
have
say
been
that.
so far. They've been incredibly serious, and I feel like I'm in a political hot seat right now. So.
Oh well, you are. Believe me,
talking
you
to-
are.
Barbara Walters over here.
So if I could get a little prideful here, I am curious. How were you first exposed to all this Grelf business? I mean, did someone have to prepare you? Were they like, "There's gonna be this weird guy on this Twitter space. Don't interact." No preparation.
No, I didn't have time to prepare. You have sent a couple tweets. You've tagged me in them, or X messages, whatever they're even called now. And yeah, I saw you're having issues with some animal granting.
Well,
Very
I appreciate it.
interesting. Yeah, so
I appreciate
I
it.
figured
Well,
we better talk about the issues you're having.
oh, we're gonna talk about the issues. Don't you worry about the issues. But before we do, I have two more questions before we get into it. Very important. How come a puffer fish and a blowfish are different fish? They seem pretty similar to me.
I don't know. I mean, is
They
one
both
dangerous,
puff up.
one not dangerous? Do they both puff up?
They both puff up.
You seem to be you have a lot of expertise in animals and fish in particular, and amphibians. So
Well,
you're going to be the go-to guy for zoology questions.
Well, I just really want things to be more simple in the animal kingdom. Like, do we really need like 18 different types of worms? It's a worm.
I mean, yeah, just narrow it down, pick the name for the fish that you want to call it, and just call it whatever you want to call it.
I'm gonna call it.
Are you going to
puffy.
offer them an alternative name? I guess if they're going to combine species, what's your alternative name you're offering?
Blow puff?
That sounds like a cereal.
Well, I would eat blow puffs every morning. They sound pretty good.
Sounds terrible.
Well, sounds terrible. Well, you know what? If I become a cereal magnate and have blow puffs, you're not invited to my blow puff party.
Thank you. I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, thank goodness. Now, this is my final question before we get into the real business here. If you had one piece of advice to give to the Hedera community, what would it be?
I mean, getting along would be wonderful. I know everybody's got their own opinions on things, but just keep it light. We're going the right direction. Outlast, and I I think everyone's going to be quite happy.
We're gonna be happy on Hedera. That's the truth, folks. So maybe give a little smile every now and again, or at least maybe don't scream at us so much. Now, that's the end of our question portion, and now it's time for the serious stuff. It's time we address the elephant in the room, or more accurately, the giraffe that isn't in the room. Though having an elephant might be nice too. No. I'm getting off track here. The reason we've gathered here today is to finally answer the question: when are we going to get a giraffe for the whole Hedera community to look up to? Now, I've approached many different Hedera organizations about this critical issue, and even so, there has not been a definitive resolution. So, Charles, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, first of all, I've got to understand, where did the idea to have a giraffe come up with? Like, where did that come from?
Well,
because I come in halfway through a conversation, I hear that Grelf and the community want a giraffe. No one's responding. They need a grant for a giraffe. It's causing issues. So where did this idea come from?
Well, you see, it came from me.
And you thought this was a good idea. Why? Why did you think this was a great idea?
Well, you see, giraffes are really tall.
Great.
So they're really easy to look up to. If there's one animal pretty much everybody can look up to, it's a giraffe. So I thought it'd be perfect for the whole Hedera community to look up to. I mean, you gotta agree with that, right?
Not a bad thesis. That's not a bad thesis. I like it. I mean, that is a good. If you're gonna pick an animal, that's probably a good one.
Okay, yeah. Because a lot of people also wanted the elephant, but the elephant's slightly less tall.
It is less tall. Probably eats a lot more.
Sure. Plus, put a few trees out there.
So what are we doing with this giraffe once we have this in the community? Where are we putting it? What are we doing with it?
Oh, wait a minute. Are you asking me for a detailed plan on what we're doing with the giraffe?
I'm sure the giraffe's former owners would like to know why we're purchasing a giraffe and where it's going.
Okay. All right. So here's what we'll do. Okay. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna also have to buy some land.
Okay.
We're gonna have to buy some land. There's got to be trees there, I would imagine. I don't know what kinds of leaves giraffes like, but I do know that giraffes really like celery and peanut butter.
Is that true?
That is true. That is an accurate fact. They like the crunch. They like to wrap their big, long blue tongue around the celery with the peanut butter in there. They'll grab that stuff right out of your hand. They got a prehensile tongue.
All right,
so we'll buy some land.
Celery. We need celery, land, peanut butter.
Peanut butter, yes. Trees.
Okay. Cheese?
Trees. I think giraffes are lactose intolerant.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll probably need a fence. And we'll probably need somebody to take care of the giraffe. I volunteer.
And I'm sure you're well experienced in giraffe care.
I know how to pet them.
And feed them peanut butter and celery.
Yes, and I'm not saying I would have a saddle made. But I'm not saying I would have a saddle made. If you catch my drift there.
You do realize that a giraffe kick does kill animal. Like, it's terribly violent.
What? Giraffes are terribly violent?
They can be.
Maybe we put the saddle away. Maybe we don't have the saddle.
You'd be better off riding a bull, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's been a while since I've seen a bull around these parts, so might have to be waiting for a little bit. I guess I'll settle for the giraffe. Now let me ask you this: we've got a plan worked out right now.
That works.
We
you got a
basically
name.
got it.
I know you've got a name.
Yes, the giraffe. I would prefer the giraffe be named Bertha, because that's just a good name for a giraffe.
Sounds like a good name.
I think so. I think so. Some people said no, it's a bad name. It should be named Floodles, and I said Floodles.
No, Bertha's better.
What? Bertha's way better than Floodles. It's just ridiculous. So we've got a plan in place. Everybody knows that the president of Hedera has access to billions of dollars. Well,
that's where many people are sorely mistaken.
What? You don't have ultimate power? I thought you had like a whole echelon, some henchmen ready to operate at your beck and call.
I mean, this is the whole reason for the council, is so single people cannot do those things. Well, so you realize I'm going to have to take this giraffe request to the council, and you're going to have to start considering how these major companies are going to feel about owning a giraffe. I think there might be some people on board, actually.
Okay. Hey, well, all right. Now we have a plan of action. We're going to bring this to the council, is what you're saying.
I think we're going to have to.
Okay.
The council meetings, we have one coming up pretty soon, so we may have to get this on the agenda.
I mean, that's good enough for me.
I mean, if we're going to have to do the grant straight from Hedera for the giraffe and not from one of our ecosystem foundations, the council's going to have to hear about it.
Okay.
You may have to actually present this yourself. I will just let you know that.
The Grelf himself?
You may have to. Yeah, I can't represent the grant for you.
Do I have to put on a shirt?
Optional, probably.
Okay, that's easy then. That's easy as pie. Put me up in front of the council, baby. I'll tell Google all about the spots on this drive.
But you will. I mean, you'll need a tie.
I can do tie.
You don't need the shirt, just the tie.
I can do tie as long as it's not an aggressive fabric. My skin's pretty sensitive.
I believe that.
Well, Charles, I mean, let me just cough into the mic. Thank you. I really know how to end an interview as nasty coughs.
I appreciate it. That was wonderful.
All right. I think we've actually done a lot more today than I thought we were going to do. The next step.
Prepare your case.
On our journey.
Yeah, you're going to have to prepare your case, get your tie of a nice fine material so you don't have a rash when you show up. We're just going to have to go from there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, Charles. I don't want to take up too much of it, but I did want you to give you an opportunity to ask me any questions you might have lingering.
I mean, I don't know. The hairstyle's looking great today, so.
Well, thank you. I did do a bit of a monthly combing just before this. So
your bi-weekly bog watering.
Well, you got to get some of that bog water all over you. It really opens the pores.
Does it?
Gives me that nice, kind of I call it a brownie sheen. Like a fresh old batch of gooey brownies.
Nothing like a staph infection to start the week.
Is that where you tell to your staff? You say you're a staph infection to me.
I don't. Only when they deny your grants, Grelf.
Okay, good, because I need some of that, secret Hedera Pope type of power. You need to wield some of that, like a lightning rod.
The council, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to state your case. Even I have to do it.
Everything seems like I have to do a lot of work around here.
It's incredible, isn't it? You actually have to do work.
I just thought the president of Hedera just had ultimate power and could just change everything immediately. Are you telling me that I might have to have a little bit of patience with the process?
It's possible.
Oh my gosh!
You may also have to have a use case to present for how is this giraffe going to improve the network. I do think morale will go up exponentially. So I think morale alone might actually be a good case to go on.
I think it justifies it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you for your time, Charles. I'm glad we have something to go forward with the giraffe issue, and looking forward to our next interview.
Yeah, it'll be good.
In like 20 years.
Nah. Well, I don't know how fast. I mean, you might age faster than dog years, so I don't know.
I have no idea what year it is. I don't really keep track. Listen, I'm gonna just keep rambling and just immediately cut the stream as soon as I